Cactus live stream, Cactus care live stream. I brought cactus seedlings that I want to go through, that I want to checking them live on air and discuss. I will be discussing all the things that we can do in order to help them. Later, we will go through the seedling containers and clean some cactus seeds that I have already washed. But for now, starting a little bit, starting with the seedlings that I brought. I really like that part, and I want to continue doing it from time to time in the stream too. So yeah, welcome to my stream. Welcome to my Cactus live stream. I sometimes call it a podcast because it's basically not a lot different. Just doing any kind of cactus related stuff here. And I brought these from the greenhouse. And I want to inspect everything here. I saw that there are problems with this, but I'm not sure what we will do with them. There's one seedling that has a pretty bad infection here. So we will probably have to take that off. But I want to start by removing weeds again. Removing oxalis again. Oxalis, one of the big problems that I encounter, and it's not really causing a huge problem, but it just makes the cactus soil, everything, turns it into a little jungle. So I'm always cleaning, always weeding a little bit. Yeah, and in this container here, I don't like what I see. There's something going on at the roots. This is probably mealybug, the way this looks. Because when you see that the seedling has rot at the root, that's often a sign that something keeps taking little bites out of the root system. And yeah, not sure what we will do here. I'm still inspecting the roots of the seedlings. This one here, this big one, I don't think we can leave it. There's a fungal infection at the base, and there's a fungal infection on this seedling too. So that means we need to take the fungal infection off for one, and then root it separately. And we cannot put this thing afterwards in high humidity. Welcome to my stream, guys. Thank you for joining. I just started taking a closer look at seedlings from the greenhouse, and now I'm looking for my knife so I can take out the fungal infection that I have here, but apparently it's not. Apparently I brought it away. I'm not sure. I will get it when it's getting to the point where we take it off. But I see a fungal infection here on this side of the seedling. Not sure how far it goes. I only know that if I do not do anything, I will lose the seedling. I can tell you that. And the same is true for this one, for the big one here. It looks great apart from the base. And that is usually a sign that you have something that is causing these constant little micro injuries at the root system. So yeah, I will have to remove the root system here on this seedling, and the other seedling I need to split in half, and then I want to give it a chance to heal. So I keep it indoors, because if I would remove something here now, like cutting the seedlings, I would not be able to move them out. Hey guys, welcome to my stream. I'm not sure what that means. So yeah, but welcome to the stream, guys. I will look into that, trying to translate it when I have time. Right now, I only see something where I'm not sure what it means, but yeah, thank you for joining. Just taking a closer look at cactus seedlings here that I brought from the greenhouse. And there needs to be a little removal. I need to remove the fungal infection and then give it a chance to heal. over winter. So these will stay indoors now, where I can control the humidity. If I would move these outside, it would almost certainly cause a problem. I don't think you can safely move a freshly cut plant into the greenhouse again. So let me just get a knife. I'm not sure where it is, but then we will take this off here. I'll be back. Okay. So now, yeah, I want to take off that seedling that looks a little bit where the root system isn't all right. And I try to take it off directly above the infection, because you can always remove more. But once you have removed something, you can't put it back. Okay, yeah, here's the, you can see this discoloration here. This is a part of the infection. But apart from that, I think we caught it all. Here's a little bit, just removing that. Okay, so now I have a pretty clean cut here, pretty clean base that I can root again. It is no problem to root a cactus again, re-root it. But it was good that I did it, because if I now look at the base that's left here, you can see that brown stuff there. That's a fungal infection that would have reached the vascular bundle very fast. So yeah, was probably the right decision. I could have maybe split it in half and just left it on the own roots, but the way this looks, it's already pretty far. I don't think it would have made it. In my opinion, it would have just come back. So I would take that piece out completely. The whole root system that was there before, I don't want it. Taking it out because it's probably contaminated. Which is a shame. But sometimes you just have to do it. Yeah, and now I look at the other seedlings. That other one doesn't look good either. What's this? I'm not sure. So yeah, now I want to take off the other one, the other seedlings also. On this side, you can see that there you can see the fungal infection, this brown discoloration. It just shouldn't be like that. And you have the option to just cut it out, and I would try to take the side out now, and then we'll see how everything looks below. It's a really spiny plant. I'm putting something above it so I can touch it. It's really, sometimes you have seedlings that are very hard to handle, and this is one of them. Okay. So I took this off. So you can see brown discoloration. And welcome to my stream, guys. We're just doing cactus care stuff. I brought seedlings from my greenhouse. They are currently pretty much in winter rest, hibernation kind of thing. But when I see a problem during winter, I usually bring the plant indoors. And that's what we're doing now, just checking on plants that might need more treatment, more care. So I now took away half of the infection here, and you can see there's still something left. So I might have to cut again. I try to keep the plant on its own roots. Maybe we can just take out the complete infection and let it heal over winter. But it has to be done indoors. Can't move that into the greenhouse again right now. Okay, now I have it out. It might be okay. There you can see it. The cactus seedlings, they often heal pretty easily. You know, it's not that when you have an infection, you can just take it off sometimes. And if the cactus gets the time to callus, and callusing just means that the wounds can heal appropriately, then they will get a next chance, a second chance. So I would place this seedling in top of the the soil here with the wound upwards, just so it has a little bit time to callus. The wound needs to get used to the sun, hardened up a little bit, you know. And yeah, apart from that, there's not a lot that we can do here. We still have 4 seedlings. I just had to take out a piece here and there out of 2 of them. The other 2 are all right, probably. But I don't like that. When you have this kind of a root rot situation in a pot, then it often means that there's mealybugs or some sort of pest that is causing the problem, that is constantly causing the micro injuries. And I see this could be the case here. So I would just move it out and keep it indoors in a heated, in a ventilated area. And maybe in 2 months it will be okay to move it out. So yeah, then this one here. So I saw that the tip might be possible to save it, but this has a rot that is coming from the roots. I'm not sure what caused it, but it's not looking good. So instantly I need to take off the base here. Everything that is rotting there at the bottom, I want to take it off completely and give it a chance to root, to heal. And but it doesn't look good. Just taking off the first piece, and you see that in center the infection has already spread, so we need to take that out again, like a new cut, taking a few more centimeters out. Now it's gotten a little bit better. You see there's more healthy growth there. I think this might be all right. There's still a discoloration, but I think we got the main fungal infection out. So now we have a tiny piece left, and this will be this is on the verge between losing it and not. So I will probably put it under a plant lamp, under a panel, LED panel lamp that I can just put on top of that. And I try to heal the wound right away, very fast. And that is the only way, in my opinion, to save this. I mean, if I put it aside now, it is just too dehydrated. It would take too long. By the time it had calloused, it probably would have gone out, would be out of nutrients, out of water. You can see that the ribs are already very flat. And this kind of species doesn't have flat ribs. It has the flat ribs because it had been dehydrated from the infection at the base. The plant just can't take in any more water then. So this needs to go under a lamp, and I moved that aside, trying to save it. I will put a plant lamp straight in front of the wound. Yeah, and this goes straight into the trash. This is not savable. Okay, next one. I brought four pots with seedlings where we need to do something. So over here, this is just overgrown with oxalis, and I wanna remove the oxalis. And with the oxalis, check out how much root came out. So very often when you are ripping out the oxalis, it will rip out large parts of the soil too. So now I want to inspect this tiny little lobevia that was in the soil, and the soil that was used was very organic. It just doesn't look like it's on a good road, to be honest. It doesn't seem to have a fungal infection yet, but I don't like the soil, so I will put this one in washed pumice. I brought a bag of washed pumice here. Check it out. This is just very fine washed pumice. Great medium for cacti. Great all around medium. And I often buy it just for the seedlings and just for the plants that are too small. When they are bigger, at some point they are just more resistant against overwatering and fungal infections and all that. But when they are younger, it's a little bit more difficult. You can lose them easily. So perfect drainage is a good thing. And with this kind of soil here, you can see it. This is just the washed pumice, nothing else. And you can buy that in large bags of, I don't know, 20 liters, maybe 25 liters. It's a very light kind of mineral. And that means, yeah, I mean, you get a big bag, but it doesn't weigh a lot. But yeah, this plant doesn't look good. I can't really see any kind of infection now. But I want to have it in a mineral medium. So I would just stick this thing into the washed pumice here. Carefully. Here's the label. And this is Lobivia winteriana, crossed with Bex 104. One of my own hybrids, so I hope I can save it. Okay. And this will go into the greenhouse again, I think. In the washed pumice, it will be all right. That will be just fine. Okay. The last one. These are Oreocerois. Check them out here. You can see these on the. You can recognize them by the hairy kind of growth. Oreocerois often have hair, and you don't see that on Trichocerois. They only have hair on the flowers and on the fruit, but not on the plant themselves. So yeah, first we will clean up here, cleaning up the oxalis again. That's everywhere. Oh, they don't look good. They don't look good. Also a root rot situation here. I don't like this at all. I'm not sure what to do. But for one, we probably have to take off this seedling here because of the root rot. It's just not healthy. Using a different knife now. So taking off everything above the infection. Okay. Here's a little bit that I also remove. Okay. Yeah, and the other one, I don't know, this looks bad. Might have to, and it's already in a mineral medium, you know. Hey, welcome to the stream, Dave. Great to have you around. I've been checking seedlings. I've been checking these Oreocerois seedlings, and they don't look so good here. Sometimes the plants don't take the cold winter, and in this case, maybe there's a mealybug situation going on. So I would just take a side off here. Everything that looks like there's an infection, I want to get rid of it. I don't want to have it around for all the time, you know. So trying to take off what I can and hope that the others will heal. But no matter what I do, they need to stay indoors now. Just because I cut them, I can't move these into the greenhouses anymore like this. So they would stay inside in a heated room, not too hot, not too cold, maybe 10 degrees Celsius, something like that. And I hope that they will recover. Taking the infection on this one also off. Maybe I can save the base. You never know. Okay. So and this goes in a heated room, so I can give it a chance to kind of heal. Okay, and this goes out again until tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be back with more seedlings here, where we can discuss what we do. So let me just put this aside. Question by Dave: do you use sulfur powder? I do not. Personally, it's good that it's brought up. I personally hate when people do that, when they are powdering a wound. In my opinion, that is how you see that someone is just not experienced enough with that kind of stuff. Because the moment you start powdering a wound, you will end up with zero visibility. You just can't tell if a fungal infection comes back or not. So you stare at this powdered thing, and it's just, there's no oxygen that comes to the wound. Oxygen is very important for something to heal, and it has become so common on Facebook, in Facebook groups, that people recommend even to use something like cinnamon, like dusted cinnamon on top of a wound, and that is the type of stuff where I'm losing it, because it's such a mild kind of fungicide to begin with, and the same is true for sulfur. You can use it, it's not that it is a bad kind of thing. You can, for example, apply it. You need to put something in to make it to get it to dissolve in a water sprayer, and then you can spray seedlings to prevent fungal infections. But the moment you have a fungal infection already and you make a cut, putting sulfur on it instantly takes away your ability to see when it comes back, when the fungal infection comes back. So yeah, I feel like that has become so common because people just read it. They read someone that they see someone is recommending it, and then they repeat it. And they want to help. They have read this and they heard that a lot, so maybe they think it will help. But in my opinion, I try to have a wound clean so I can see if there are problems coming back. If something comes back, having it powdered a little bit will not help you. It will probably, there's a chance that the fungicide, whatever you use, will prevent the fungal infection from coming back, but it's not working reliably, and then you never know for sure what's going on below. You will always have that situation where you get unsure but you never know what's going on. So yeah, I wouldn't do it. If you do it right, a clean cut is enough. Very rarely fungal infections come back if you take care of the problem that caused the fungal infection. Sometimes it's mealybug. Sometimes it's just the wrong soil, where the soil is just too wet, takes too long to dry, has some sort of fungal problem to begin with, Okay, yeah, I'm starting with the seedlings now. The 4 containers of plants that I brought from the greenhouse. Today I didn't like them. I brought a few really difficult to treat cases, and we will have to keep an eye on them. So I will be doing updates with the plants today. We'll show them again when the wound is healed, and hopefully they will pop again. Yeah, all right. If you have drip water that is coming down, that can also cause an infection. The drip water is ice cold in winter. When very often you have it when the ice cold water drips on a plant, it instantly burns the skin, and that will cause an infection. It will look like it's actually an infection, but it's actually a cold damage and a secondary infection that follows up on it. Okay, so yeah, over here, very young seedlings, super tiny. One of them looks like it might not make it. Trying to transplant it a little bit better. I assume it just didn't have enough contact with the soil. And then when you have a tiny seedling, it will just run out of water, run out of nutrients. So maybe it has a chance. Apart from that, few of the seedlings that came up were so small that they just they have no chance of growing. They are just tiny things that barely have any life in them, so I remove them. Everything that looks like a normal seedling stays in, but this is looking pretty, I don't know. The seedlings are very small, some of them. What is your best cure for you want to say mealybug, right? Mealybug's hard to treat, in my opinion. What I used to do in the past, I sprayed the plants with 70% alcohol just to destabilize the populations, to reduce the populations, because when you have problems with mealybug, you know, where they are covering the plants and everything, once you spray them with a fair amount of alcohol, they instantly kind of lose their drive to cause a lot of damage. In order to get rid of them entirely, I'm currently using neem oil, spraying neem oil, and I did a lot of that this year. And I wasn't happy with the results, to be honest. So I increased the dosage, and then things got a lot better. But the higher the dosage of the neem oil, the more likely you will run into problems later on. Neem oil just has a lot of risks, because every oil, it kind of takes away a little bit of the protective layer of the skin, and when that is taken away, they can burn easily in sunlight. So you need to be very careful with oil. Apart from that, there are a lot of pesticides that solve that mealybug problem once and for all, but they are no longer permitted. You know, there used to be a lot of pesticides that had been pretty effective, but they've been so effective that they also took out all the beneficial insects. So there are fewer and fewer pesticides available. I think spinosad should also get rid of them. But also, I mean, it's pretty toxic to beneficial insects too. I really try to minimize when I do it. When I treat plants against mealybug, I usually put them close together, remove every kind of soil that I can, just to get rid of, for one, the population of the mealybug, but also to get rid of the beneficial insects that are also in the soil. I really try to, when I use a pesticide, I don't want to use something that takes out an entire ecosystem of friendly insects too. It's very difficult, you know. It's very difficult because mealybug are pretty hardy. So you will have to treat repeatedly over months, maybe once a month at the least, or maybe every 2 weeks. And always careful about not spraying everything, because there's so much good life in a cactus greenhouse. Every time I bring a plant inside, there are tiny spiders that are living in it. You know, all the beneficial insects that are out there, and you just can't go nuclear on them all the time. That is what brought us to the point where we lost so many insects. So yeah, trying to do a lot with neem oil. Okay. Yeah, these are also very small, and 1 or 2 seedlings look like they might not make it. This looks like the classic fungus gnat kind of situation. I'm digging them in a little bit deeper, just in case the problems that they have are caused by not having enough contact with the soil, but it doesn't seem like it. So closing this up again, I couldn't see any any fungus gnats, but it doesn't mean they are not in there. Sometimes the fly the fungus gnat is flying away, and the larvae is living in the pot and you don't see it. Okay, so here, these are little cactus seedlings that I've sown out. And I can already tell that this soil is turning bad. So you can see there the algae on the lower right. And when I look closer, it seems like there's a whole layer of this kind of green sludge on top of the soil. And this is just not something we can work with long term. So we need to transplant these. So I'm putting these aside, and they will go into a new container. Because the longer you have them in one container, the more likely it becomes that the soil has a bad pH level. Just from watering, from constantly doing something with the soil, it can negatively affect the pH. And once the pH is in a bad kind of range, then the seedlings will just disappear eventually. My recommendation is, when you have a container where the soil just looks bad, transplant them. It is a bad thing to keep the seedlings in a soil where where the pH and where the whole thing isn't right. In comparison to that one, see here, you can see that the soil is pretty clean, looks puffy. That is a healthy kind of soil, not like the other ones. Yeah, everything great. These are from a Uwe Karle cross with Bamboy. Good cross. These have the potential, when you have like 100 seedlings of these, I would grow them all. With that kind of a parent involved, I would probably grow them all. So yes, welcome to the stream, everyone who found us. I mean, every now and then the viewer number goes up like crazy. So welcome, everyone. This is a cactus care related stream, and later we will clean cactus seeds. But for now, I will go through the seedlings here. By the way, next week I will get my window finally. Just so you know, the time of me being without the window is coming to an end. Very happy. They will start in the morning very early, and hopefully that thing will be done by the evening. So here, this is also Bamboy, might even be the same cross. Hybrid cross from 2023. Healthy seedlings. Always happy to take questions if you like, guys. The chat is open. I mean, I'm always happy to comment if you run into problems with what you're doing or just have a general question. If not, I will continue going through the seedlings the way I did before. Yeah, and in this one here, there's just nothing to do. And that is good. Closing it up again. I don't want to do anything that I don't have to. Okay. Next one. This one looks great too. Also Uwe Karle hybrid. This time from 2024. Healthy looking seedlings, everything great. Yeah. We'll just close this up again. And one or two look a little bit like they might be mutated, kind of monstrous, kind of growth on the seedlings. We will see how they change long term. So, okay. Next one. Yeah, exactly. Like, so, okay. These are okay-ish looking, very small, young seedlings. One or two are upside down, so we need to transplant them. The root needs to be in contact with the ground, with the soil. That is very important. If not, it will just get smaller and smaller, weaker and weaker, and at some point you will have lost it completely. So I'm putting it upside down, back with the root into the soil. And apart from that, the other seedlings are still too small. Not a lot going on here. The seeds were a little bit older, and you instantly see it in the viability and in the general health of the seedlings. Not really looking super healthy, but it's okay. Okay, next one. Just going through the remaining seedlings that I have here. And it's after this one, 12 more, and then we move on to the cactus seeds. I want to get rid of all the cactus seeds that I'm cleaning. I want to get that done. And I'm barely making progress. Okay. Yeah, these are looking nice. Nice and healthy. No fungus gnats. So you can really see that a large part of the containers didn't have any kind of fungus gnat problems. It was just a particular area in the bag where the fungus gnats had gotten. But unfortunately, that's a huge problem for the ones that are affected. Okay, next one. Okay, now this one. Looking okayish. Large difference in regards to the color of the seedlings. I mean, some of them are yellow, some of them are lime green, some of them are white. And the one that's white, that one's gone. I'm sure I can take it out already. Let me see. Well, this doesn't look good. I mean, I can leave it in. Here's the seedling, tiny seedling. I can leave it in, but it's probably gone. I don't think it will make it. When a seedling becomes transparent, then it's very hard to get it back. Hey Andrea, welcome to the stream. Great to have you around. Hope you get your phone fixed and everything. It's really difficult when you have when the screen isn't right. So yeah, I know the pain, but very happy that you made it. Apart from that, the seedlings look good. I will close it up again, but I'm not really putting a lot of hope into it that the seedling that I just had in my eye on, that it will be all right. I think we will lose that seedling. So this will be the last chance that it gets. If next time, if I see it again and it looks worse, we will take it out. So yeah, next one. Yeah, a bunch of seedlings here, very small, very tiny. Not really, and there was a fungus gnat, I think. And you can instantly, it's I can see a fungus gnat larvae, and I will take it out. This will not stay in there, friend. Life will become more difficult for you. I'm not sure if it shows, but there's a tiny, it's like a transparent little tiny worm. And yeah, it will have to move out. I'm not having it here. Apart from that, I can see them, but they are probably already in the soil. I think we might have to transplant. They are just a little bit too small already. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, I once had a smartphone that where the display had a crack, and at some point it would only I could only use certain letters, and others weren't working anymore. So yeah, I know the pain. Yeah, and in this one here, I'm not sure what to do. I mean, they are too small, but I think we might have to transplant them nonetheless. With a fungus gnat in there. When I see one, I'm sure there are more. You can sometimes see them when you put like a lamp, a light above them, and they are shiny. The fungus gnat larvae is pretty shiny, and sometimes you can see them, you can spot them. But even if you would get them all out, there are probably more eggs that are hatching. So we might have to transplant them, just that they are too small. Closing it up again once more. Next time we will transplant them. They are just not big enough yet. So I just hope that the fungus gnats will kind of, I don't know, be busy, do something else instead of eating the seedlings. Okay, so this one here, they are looking all right. A few seedlings are growing faster than the others. You often see that where a bunch of seedlings here and there just have more energy than the others. They are just stronger. Here's a seedling that I will take out that has no chance. It already looks like it's in the last days, so I will just take it out. This is a transparent seedling. Makes no sense to keep it because it would not make it. Once a seedling becomes transparent, then you can probably not save it anymore. That's usually a sign that there was a heat damage, or that it got root rot, or that something did it, kind of finished it, you know. Apart from that, these are looking good. I will just close this up again. Okay. Here's a container that is full of seedlings. Already way too many. I wouldn't want so many seedlings in a container. But now I have it. Congratulations. Hey mate, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you for just joining in, just to say hello. Always great to see you guys. I'm just doing my stuff, and next time you have time, just come and join us again. Yeah, apart from that, I mean, there's an immense amount of seedlings in immense number of seedlings in here. And some of them might even be on top of other seedlings, but I don't want to really do much now. They're just a little bit too small where I can move them around. I want to give it another 2 weeks. Until then, the seedlings will have hopefully grown a little bit. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Great to have you around. We're just checking on cacti. A little bit here and there. Okay, these are looking great, by the way. One thing that I noticed, when you put in too many seeds, you usually put too many seeds on top of each other. So you sprinkle the seeds in here, and then when there are too many seeds, you have different kind of layers of seedlings that come up, and the top layer often doesn't have any kind of connection to the soil, and that means that a seedling is sitting on top of the others and running out of nutrients. And that's what's happening here. I see a seedling here that looks very dehydrated compared to the others. It will probably not show, but you can see that it sticks out in regards to the color too. There, this blackish kind of thing. And I will take it down now and put it on top of the soil again. Different spot in the container, but one where it can be in contact with the soil, because it needs the soil to take in the nutrients. Otherwise, you will just lose it. And when you have a little tiny seedling that you lose on top of the others, it can easily spiral out of control. You have a fungal infection happening from above, and that is not good. So closing it up again now, the seedling might recover. We will have to see that. It might be too late, but the way I see it, there's good chance it will recover. So yeah, next one. Yeah, also, I mean, healthy seedlings here. Not seeing a lot of problems, not seeing fungus gnats. I see a little bit of algae or maybe moss, but it's not growing excessively. Once it starts growing excessively, like you have a layer of moss that is covering everything, then you need to take it out. Then you might have to transplant everything. But for now, we can just leave it. And the seeds here, this is Pink Stripes offspring of the Wörlitz Cantora Gelb hybrid, Pink Stripes. Pretty good hybrid. One of my own. I really like it. Maybe we can get them to flowering. Everything that's coming from Pink Stripes, it's always worth it. Okay, so next one. Also healthy looking seedlings. Everything good. Lobivia seedlings from the mother Dessau. Dessau being a Hartmut Kellner hybrid. And Dessau is a German city, just so you know. A city in the east. And the hybrid's pretty famous. Pretty famous for being involved in Wörlitz. And also by itself. I mean, Dessau is a masterpiece hybrid by itself. It is has a very strong contrast. And it is the reason that Wörlitz has that strong contrast. It came from Dessau. So every now and then I sow out Dessau, because Dessau is just, it always has the potential to produce that one amazing hybrid. Very often the offspring just looks like Dessau. It is very dominant, very much like Wörlitz also is. But when you are lucky, when you pick the right partner for it, it can produce something amazing. Last year I have shown a hybrid that I made, and I was so proud of it. And it was from across Dessau and a Lobivia hybrid, like Asterix, I think. And that one had an amazing flower, like really nice. I think I've shown the video 20 times. I was just proud, you know. So yeah, seedlings with Dessau could be great, or could just be super purple, like the classic Dessau kind of color, the classic Wörlitz color that you often see. Comes from these kinds of, you know, the same genetics. Okay, next one. Okay, yeah, this is interesting because we have two entirely different groups of seedlings in there. We have some that are growing fast and other ones that are very small, that are below, that don't really grow at the same pace. I'm not sure why. I mean, some of the smaller seedlings look like they might have variegation. And that can mean that maybe the difference in growth speed has to do with mutations like variegation or cresting. So we'll keep an eye on it. for now, we will just let it be. I mean, if some of the seedlings are behind a little bit, if they are delayed, who cares, right? I mean, at some point, once the other seedlings are so big that you have to transplant them, you just leave the others in the pot, the smaller ones. Not a problem. We can deal with it. Apart from that, everything looking great. Healthy looking seedlings. I love that. No problem. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. You know, everything's working towards Christmas and all. So I understand. I might not be here for the full 1.5 hours either. So we'll see. I will do my best. But my voice keeps going away. So we'll see. Okay. But great that you are here. I appreciate it. Yeah, and now Humkes Roro again. I mean, this is becoming a running joke on the stream because they're just not healthy. The Humkes Roro seedlings, they just look unhealthily. And yeah, I mean, some of them are probably variegated. And I'm not sure if any one of them can long-term grow on their own roots. I doubt it. For now, there's nothing I can do. I can't tell which one of them are able to survive on their own roots and which ones aren't. So I need to leave them in. Yeah, comments like Andreas just writing that she's been taking out moss from a container. I mean, yeah, if it doesn't bother the seedlings, you can sometimes leave it in, but there are certain species of moss that overgrow the seedlings and take away the light, and then they continuously create that humid kind of layer. It's like you have a little swamp, because the soil just never really dries normally. And I mean, these are enclosed containers, so the soil doesn't really fully dry anyway, but it still changes the structure of the soil. You kind of it is a lot easier when you have moss on the soil for the layer to become unusable, like where the pH level gets wrong. I don't know why, but it just attracts certain problems that negatively affect the pH level. I try to take it out when I can, or when it becomes big. When it's a tiny little piece, nobody cares, but if it's big, take it out. Okay, so now these here, I don't know. Some of the seedlings look great and others look terrible. One of them is upside down. I don't know what it's doing there. So I will have to turn it around. It's just doing its best, but it wasn't enough. Okay. Apart from that, the others look okay. But I think this is the cross that we had to transplant in the other one. Like, I have multiple containers of the same kind of seeds. And the last one, we had one of those. We had to transplant them all in washed pumice. And we might have to do the same here. But for now, it's okay. Not sure what this is. This could have been a seedling. But it's no longer visible anymore. I'm not seeing any kind of fungus gnat, nothing like that. But I'm always trying to keep an eye out for the larvae that just walks around there. For now, it's okay. I will close it up. But it's possible we have to transplant these. Question, is it better for the seedlings to transplant them? Sometimes. I mean, it depends, you know. Look at the size. If they are big enough to transplant, The smaller they are, the more risky it is. But if they are big enough to transplant, I would recommend it. If it's a tiny piece of moss somewhere in the container, nobody cares, you know. But if it is something that keeps surrounding the seedlings, that keeps coming up around the seedlings, then you can pretty much guarantee that that they will compete for nutrients, that they will compete for light. So then I often transplant. I'm not a fan of having moss in a closed container. It just continues to grow often. And depending on what kind of species it is, like there's a huge range from being a huge problem to being barely noticeable. And it really changes from moss species to species. If in doubt, if you are unsure, I mean, it can be easier to just transplant. Okay, so here, yeah, this is a mess. I really hate it. You can see these 3 tiny dots there. Sorry, excuses for seedlings. One of them is already transparent, and this is a Hildewinterer. It tells you all about the genetic health of Hildewinterer. So I'm taking out that transparent seedling here, because this would just be gone next time I look. And in worst case scenario, it would have created a new infection. Now I have three tiny seedlings, and I can't tell if these will grow. If you ask me, probably not. This is a thing, we could launch it. We could put it on a trebuchet and launch it into the air, and it would probably have the same results. I don't think we will have seedlings in this one. Okay, last one now. This is the last one, and then I want to move on to the seeds because I have so many of them. Okay. Yeah, seedlings, right? Cactus. Yeah, it's cactus. Apart from that, I find an infection here in center of the seedlings. So just so you see, here is an infection exactly there, this brownish kind of spot there, and we need to take it out, and it's surrounded by seedlings. When you have that healthy cactus seedlings all around, it's important to get it all out with safety distance. Okay. I now took out 2 seedlings, and I need to take out more. This one is healthy. I will transplant this one to the outer areas here, to the outer rim. Okay. Here's a little bit remnant of the fungal infection, like the seedling that we lost. This was one seedling, one little seedling that got infected, and it threatens to take over the whole thing. Yeah, the size, I mean, these here are maybe 6 to 8 weeks old. And I don't like how this looks. They are too close together with such a fungal infection. Here's a seedling that I don't like. I think for the next time I will get me a little like tweezers so I can more efficiently remove a single seedling here and there. So let me see. It has a discoloration, but I'm not sure if this is just from the lamp. Every time I'm unsure, I place the seedling on the outer area. Because if it would start an infection there, it would not instantly jump to the other seedling. Okay, so here's something that needs to be taken out. I don't like this container. There's something going on here. So many seedlings, and when you have a fungal infection somewhere, it's instantly becoming a problem. And again, this is a perfect analogy for society. If there are just a few in between that are not doing well, it affects the whole society. It affects the whole container. Everything in there that's living nearby can be infected then. Okay. Yeah, here's a seedling that I'm also moving to the outer area. There are a bunch where I'm not sure if they can make it or not. I don't want to start pulling out seedlings too early. But this isn't looking good. Here's a seedling at the bottom. I take that one out completely. Yeah, and I mean, it's like when you're in a crowded city, there are too many seedlings together, and it's not possible to kind of clear the area here, to clear the distance between them, because they are so close. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy about that. If you are unsure if a seedling can survive, just give it a chance. Just wait. You just have to be warned that at some point the seedling might expire, and then when that happens and you aren't looking into the bag again for another month, well, who knows what will happen? Sometimes you have an infection that just continues to affect the whole thing. So as long as you check them on a regular basis, there's no risk of keeping them in a little bit longer. And when you find the one seedling that has a partial variegation, but can also survive on its own roots, that's a good thing. That's a great kind of plant. I like these plants because they often have the genetic kind of mutation that you can work with also in the next generation when you're making crosses. But it happens in a way where you don't have to graft them all the time. Grafting is fun when you don't have to do it, when you can do it. But once you have to continuously graft just to keep a plant alive, then it becomes a nuisance, and I'm not doing it. I don't want to have these reddish kind of looking cultivars that if you put them on their own root, they will not make it. I don't want to have anything to do with that. They can keep them. So yeah, moving on to the seeds now. I just have too many good seeds and I need to clean them. So this is, what is it? I can't read my own handwriting. I have the worst handwriting that's ever been done. I don't know what it means. I need to wait. I need to scrape them off here and then try to look at the writing, like like when you are doing, I don't know, trying to read it like the language in a pyramid, like the hieroglyphics, like kind of stuff. That's how I read my own handwriting sometimes. Okay. Yeah, I think I know what it is. I think it's a multi-hybrid with Vinnebar. Yeah, I mean, albino seedlings have a very high chance to not make it. It's just like that. You have to graft them right away if that is what you are after. A lot of people that are creating these cultivars, they're always grafting. So many of them just don't make it on their own. So yeah, and this one here, this is a multi-hybrid that I have shown on the channel and on the social media pages, and the flower is amazing. multi-hybrid with Winnebar, Gräsers Schönste, Flying Saucer, I think. All kinds of different parents, and the flower had a really nice kind of multicolored kind of thing. Was really good. When I first posted it, it went viral. Was one of the first cactus kind of stuff that went viral when I posted it. So I always have a kind of special feeling with special connection to this plant. And this year, I think I had 5 fruits on it. So these are actually very good. So now I'm just trying to clean everything. There were a bunch of seeds that got stuck to the paper towel. Okay. Yeah, I have a terrible handwriting. It's just how it is, and it comes from the Lyme disease. I just don't have the muscle pressure to write firmly, you know. So I always write like, and it's not very well readable. Unfortunately, it's one of the things. I mean, there were times when I was signing my books, that I really had problems even signing the books. Okay. Yeah, sometimes the auto moderator is glitching out a little bit. I'm not sure why. I just looked at it, tried to post it, but it wouldn't work. But yeah, this kind of auto moderator stuff just has a high rate of failure. It's just how it is. This morning, when I read about, you know, every morning before I do my stream, I read a little bit on social media, just the new stuff that's happened. And so much of my daily online time where I'm just reading consists of people complaining about AI, complaining about moderators, auto moderator, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, with the handwriting, the whole thing was worse. The worst was when I sent something to Australia, and the customs destroyed the whole letter because they couldn't read my handwriting. That was the point where I said, okay, from now on I will print the labels, and then it was okay. So this is nice. I'm really looking forward having a little bit time now over the Christmas days, where I can just recover a little bit after all the stress of the last months. Last months have been really hard. So I'm really looking forward being able to spend a little bit time with Mika and Kami. Kami is so sweet right now. I mean, she's almost, you know, she's getting 17 next year, and she's so sweet. She gets tired easily, so she sleeps a lot, you know, but she always comes to us. And yeah, it's just a nice time right now. Finally, things are becoming a little bit easier, hopefully. So yeah, this is a lot of work here with these seeds. These have been not well cleaned. I'm not sure what went on there, but I'm still cleaning. I'm still doing cleaning that shouldn't have even been there, like in the first clean. Okay, so now I will move that to the piece of paper that I brought. And that allows me to clean it a little bit more efficiently. Okay. Overall, maybe 200 or 300 seeds here. Thank you, Andrea. I'm really just at the point now. Every time I have the heating oil delivery that heats the house for a whole year usually, then I can start to recover. And this year it took way too long. This year it took me like 3 months in winter where it was already cold until I could arrange for it. So yeah, I'm very happy that it's finally over. Yes, take care. Thank you for joining. We'll see you again, and I'll give Mika and Kami your regards. Thank you. But yeah, this is looking okay-ish. Starting to clean up here. There was just too much. There was even fruit material like pulp. When you feel the pulp, and it was still sticky, that kind of stuff. That shouldn't be after the first cleaning. After the first cleaning, you should at least have gotten rid of all the fruit pulp. But this year I was so overwhelmed with cleaning the seeds. There were hundreds of fruit. Took me a while to catch up, and I'm still not 100% done. Still getting through it. Just removing the little pieces of paper where the seeds have stuck to the kitchen paper that I used to dry them. And if there's too much organic material still left in this thing, they don't really clean up well. So sometimes you have to do a second cleaning. In the next days, we have to start in the garden. I cannot delay it any further. So the outdoor work starts now. Unfortunately, I hate it. We will have to take down trees and all, but we have to do it now. So sometime in the next couple of weeks, the stream will not take place in the house, but outside in the garden. And we will take down some of the trees that surround the greenhouse. That surround the greenhouses. Overall, I think we need to take down 20 trees. They aren't big trees, but they are there, you know. We have a lot of these robinia trees that are growing around here, and they are terrible. They need to go. Absolute terrible nightmare fuel pest, invasive kind of tree. I want to get rid of them here. But there's no chance to completely nuke them. They will come back and come back and come back. It's just a very hardy kind of pest. What I'm doing every year is I would just cut them back, and the next year I need to do the same again. Okay. We're slowly getting somewhere, but I have noticed that I had sorted out a lot of viable seeds here, so I need to be a little bit more careful. Also a little bit of pulp that shouldn't even be in the final product. shouldn't be even in the seeds that we, because if you want to sow them out and you have that fruit pulp in there, it attracts infections. Oh yeah, I mean, you get used to it. When I first handled cactus seeds, I was doing it very carefully and all, but the longer you do it, the more nonchalantly you are doing it. You are just, yeah, and you constantly lose some. Yeah, that doesn't matter. And yeah, it's just you get used to it. You just have to do it, you know. So much of the work of a cactus breeder has to do with seeds. Everything we do, it kind of leads to the creation of the seeds, and once you have them, you just have to get at it, cleaning them up, because otherwise you just have them lying around. In the next days, I will make a final decision if I want to do something for Christmas, like a special event, something like that. I haven't fully decided yet, but in the next days, I will make the call. Because if we do, we need to do a lot more labeling of seeds on the channel, so everything is ready. Just by looking at all the seeds that I still have to clean, it's not likely, but maybe I will be overcome by the Christmas spirit. So we'll see. Okay, these are clean enough now. I would put these in the seed bag. I'm not sure how long it took now to clean them. In my opinion, I mean, half an hour, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, definitely, just for one of them. And there are a good 100 left, so this will take some time. I'm happy that I'm not so good at math, because otherwise it would just make me sad. Yeah, I actually would want to, it's always important to have some sort of Christmas event around the Christmas time. I mean, we used to do it on our Facebook groups. The Christmas giveaway was always pretty big. But at some point, I kind of walked a little bit away from the groups. It was just too exhausting for me to do it always. It was so much work every year. And I felt like Facebook was making it more difficult every year. But I kind of miss it, It's also a good spirit. Tells a lot about the community if you can, if you are doing these kind of Christmas events. So this was multi-hybrid, Winnebar, Gräsers schönste. And it's a hybrid by Uwe Kahle from 2011. I think 56 was the cross number. And it was the last fruit of the season. That will help me nail it down what kind of a father it was. I can look at the list. Okay. Another one. And this time it's the fruit that Claw had. Claw is a really nice red kind of flowering plant. Nice red flowers. Really gorgeous, kind of multi-hybrid with claw-like flowers, claw-like petals. One of my favorite hybrids by Uwe. And everything looks pretty clean already, so that's okay, that's good. Seeds are very small, by the way. They remind me a lot of the seeds of Sörensia formosa. And in claw, there's grandiflora involved. And I think the seed size, the small seed size, probably comes from grandiflora. Either that or Rosa California, which I think is also involved. Rosa California, basically a hybrid between Sörensia and Trichocereus. Okay. Just seeing the writing better, and it says Claw Sister. So this is the sister plant of Claw, which had an amazing flower this year. Really looked impressive. This time, like with this kind of flower that I've shown on the channel this year, I had people writing me from outside the community just because they had seen this and wanted to have some sort of a cutting, something like that, you know. Really nice plant, so it's great to have seeds from it. Thank you, Andrea. I will get back to posting more flower videos today. I just had the last couple of days were a little bit busy, but I will get back to it now. From like with the uploads from the videos, with the flower reels that I'm uploading, I'm currently just at the beginning of July. So there are 3 or 4 more months with flower videos that are coming that I can upload. So this will be great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, the flowers make it all worth it. It's not everything in regards to the hobby. I also try to do more cactus care related stuff now. But there's just something magical when you get into the greenhouse and you see the flowers opening up, and it's just a great thing. And when I'm recording the videos with the birds in the background, it's just a nice environment. It's just a little bit of a reminder how nature is supposed to be. Okay. So yeah, the seeds here, Claw Sister, multi-hybrid involving grandiflora. In this case, it's Buena Vista, but it's basically grandiflora. It's an old cultivar of grandiflora. Buena Vista, Rosa California. What else? I think Gräsers Schönste is also involved. A few different kind of parents involved here. And the whole fruit was full of seeds. So this is a lot of seeds. If I would have to guess, I'd say maybe 500. But still a lot of organic debris in here. Might not be a bad idea to clean it a second time. We'll see. Okay. I'm constantly brushing away viable seeds here. That's why I always have something below to trap them in case I'm a little bit too eager to sort out, to clean up here. Sometimes it's just very difficult to judge about viability of seeds just from looking at them. So you have to touch them to feel them if they have life in them. If there's some sort of, I don't want to call it an embryo, but you know what I mean. Like living kind of thing that's in there often. And when the seeds are too small, they often don't have it. When the seeds are not round, when they are not rolling around a little bit, then they often are unviable. Overall, this looks like a very healthy cross genetically. When you have so many seeds, that's a good sign, because the usual fruit size of these isn't so big. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was really happy about these, and I almost thought that the plant that these seeds were harvested from, I almost sorted it out, I think last year or maybe a couple of years ago. Every now and then you just have a flower that comes out that just doesn't look the way the normal flowers look like, you know. Every now and then a plant produces a mediocre flower, and the next year it is full of amazing full-size flowers. You know, you sometimes shouldn't sort out something after seeing the flower just once. At the very least, wait 2 years until you have really seen the flower in every way. Especially when it's the first flower. The first flower often looks a little bit mediocre, and later on, when the plant gets used to flowering, it can look totally different. So I'm very happy that I did not sort this plant out like I wanted to at the time. It just didn't happen because I was too lazy to sort it out that time. It was easier to just leave it in the greenhouse, and that was good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of the little plant debris here and there, but it's okay. It's just important that I can start bagging them later on. I will continue to clean them. There's never a time when I handle seeds when I'm not cleaning them. It's just something that happens automatically. Okay. Sometimes it's easier to just give it a second wash with water. Okay, this is enough. I would just bag these. I don't need it doesn't have to be perfectly clean. It just needs to be so clean that you can start bagging it. Okay. So now I cleaned two different two crosses, two types of seed, and it really we didn't really make a lot of progress here. All right. And here, over here, I see the next one is an Atrocerois hybrid. That one was really good. This is a great cross. Atrocerois crossed with Candicans. And I crossed it with Bamboy, I think. So that could be a great cross here. I had them under the time-lapse camera and it looked amazing. I had completely forgotten how many great seeds I have from this season. Okay, I will do the last one. And that's the Atrocereus. I just want to clean them. Now that I've seen them, it's a good cross. Atrocereus is one of those plants that has a beautiful flower. It's a little bit more cold sensitive than the plants that I have usually. But so far, it survives my winter. This is a hybrid that I got from Macondo Cactus. And this year was the first year where it grew a fruit. So far, I had never been able to grow Atrocereus to fruit. So that was very special, and I want to sow them out, all of them. And there are not too many seeds, maybe 100 at the most. It's a very small plant, so the fruit is small too. And I really need to fast track these so we can sow them out in one of the next kind of videos. So the parent, in this case, the mother, Atrocereus crossed with Sorensia candicans, Atrocereus rondonianus, or something like that. And the flower is just amazing. I've seen hybrids by Jürgen Theisinger with Atrocereus, and they are amazing. Really nice flower, but unfortunately, they don't seem to be propagated. I've just seen them in the collection of a breeder who had bought seeds from Jürgen Theisinger. And when you sell seeds, you never really have a chance to hear back from them, to get a cutting, that kind of stuff. And in the case of Jürgen's hybrids, it was really sad because they are great. They look amazing. They should be propagated. But yeah, when you are selling seeds, you are kind of losing the right to ask about the cutting. When you are giving something away, when you are gifting seeds away, it's just general kind of recommendation to give the breeder the first cutting. That is something that a lot of the breeders in Europe do. When a breeder gives you seeds, then you can sometimes repay the favor by giving the first cutting back to the breeder. And I really think that's a good way. Very often breeders gift away the seeds completely, like they aren't charging anything. In Jürgen's case, with these Atrocereus hybrids, he charged for it. But yeah, I often give them away, so people often send me photos or offer me a cutting of a plant that was grown from my seeds. And that's a good way to do it. It also means that whatever plant you grew will also be propagated on a greater level. Because if there's just one plant, something can always happen, and when that one plant is gone, it is lost forever. And when you give something to the breeder, they usually propagate them. They usually make sure that there are enough of them around. So I will grow these myself. This is the kind of stuff when you have 100 seeds, you just have to grow them yourself. Unless you are uncertain if you can get them to adulthood. And there's always uncertainty when you're growing from seeds. I mean, it's not easy. Especially when you're running out of space like I do. Okay. In this one, there are also a bunch of non-viable seeds here. Okay. Yeah, I think this is getting close to when we can bag them already. These were pretty clean. The fruit of the Atroceros was only this big, like maybe this roundish, and it was a big fruit for an Atroceros. They are usually smaller. They remind me a lot of Hildewintera. They remind me a lot of Cactus, but one of the more cold sensitive kind of plants. I wish they would take a little bit more frost, because over here the winter temperatures are pretty low. Okay. Taking out a few more of the non-viable seeds here and there. Okay. I'm pleased with the result. We can bag it now. Here's another one. And the seed size is interesting. It's pretty big. Definitely a lot bigger than Sörensia seeds. Okay. All right. Here it is. Maybe 100 seeds at the most, I think. If you only count the ones that are really viable, maybe even only 80. But all it takes is one plant that gets tall, that gets big enough to flower, and then it was all worth it. Okay, guys, I guess I'm ending the stream now. Going back to Mika and Kani, giving them a few cuddles here and there. So thank you guys for participating again. I appreciate it. Thank you for being around, even with the broken kind of display. So yeah, going offline now, but I appreciate it. Thank you for being here every day. Makes my day always begin the right way. I appreciate everyone who takes the time to participate in these little cactus kind of winter sessions. In summer, we will probably not do them. Yes, Andrea, same to you. You know, just want to say in summer, we will probably not be able to do it like we are doing it now. So it's a treasured kind of winter activity. So yes, thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate it, and I will be back tomorrow. Thank you.